Right, welcome YouTube. So what this is going to be today, I know nobody's here, I just logged in. I'm going to just go ahead and get started. We're going to use this as a time to review. We have exams coming up next week, so we're going to use this as a live tutoring session for basic math and pre-calculus. And I'll try to notify people as they come and go. But we're going to use this as a time to kind of go through the study guide. So I'll just start with the basic math study guide, and this is the first question in the study guide. And it says, find the midpoint of the line segment with these endpoints in this. Okay, so in class, we said that the midpoint between 2 points is nothing but the average of our x's, average of our y's. So why do we say this? Because like the midpoint formula, so let's look at this. Now usually when I get something like this, I'll go ahead and label it immediately. So I'll go x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. So then the midpoint is just going to be, so the midpoint formula is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay. So with this being the formula, all right, I see someone checked in. If you could in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me. So can you hear me, yes or no? And I'll just be looking for that. So what we're doing, this is going to be a review session for basic math and pre-calculus. Okay, cool. All right. And also, all right, Mr. Paris. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a way to log, a good way to log everybody. Okay, just leave a comment saying that you were here and with your name, and I will I'll make a note of that so that you can get credit for it. If you have questions, you can either type it in the chat. Okay, if you have questions, you can either type it in the chat or just click on the Ask My Instructor from the study guide, and I'll get an email and I can incorporate it into the presentation. So otherwise, I'm just going to kind of progress through different study guides. So I'm kind of bouncing between basic math and pre-calculus. So those are the two that I'm working right now. So if you have any questions, just ask. Otherwise, just kind of chill, hang out for a bit. Make sure you make your presence known. So just in the comment section, just leave your name and that you would like extra credit, that you were in attendance today. And I'll go back at the end and I'll go through and give credit to whoever, name, whatever names is on my roster is in the comments, and we'll go there. So otherwise, this is the first question from the base. How are you guys doing today? I see you, Mr. Sharp, Mr. Paris. Welcome, gentlemen. All right, so otherwise, I'll go ahead with this first question. This is just the first question in the 090 in the basic math. So it said find the midpoint between these 2 points. Let's see. It says find the midpoint between the 2 points. So we said that the midpoint is nothing but the average of our x's, average of our y's. All right, so we just go ahead and label the points x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we just plug them into the formula. This formula, I don't think I'll give you this one. So you wanna know this. I'll just say know this. All right, so you got to commit that to memory. So let's plug the things in. So our midpoint is going to be, so our x1 is 2.53 plus our x2 is 1.8 divided by 2, and then our y1 is 3.4 plus a negative 1.1 divided by 2. Okay, so that's it. So then, we just calculate those. So let's see if we can do that calculation. And stop me if you have any questions or if you want me to do any specific questions like from the study guide or anything like that. All right, so then here, let me turn this on. So if we say 2.5, okay, let's do 2.5 plus 1.8 divided by 2. Okay, and that one is, so the midpoint should be 2.15. That's the x coordinate. Then on y, we can say 3.4 plus a negative 1.1 divided by 2. This is 1.15. Okay, now our claim is that this is the midpoint. Can you guys, hello, Mr. Heichel? I know I'm butchering that. Forgive me. So our claim is that 215, 115, that's going to be the midpoint between these two. What are some ways that we can confirm this? We never really want to take things as face value. We always want to say, hey, does this make sense? Can we confirm it? You know, you always do that. Like, you always want to check. So I'm going to go to stat plot in the upper left hand corner of my calculator. I'm going to turn this on. Let's see. I think I need to go to table set. Let's go. No. Oh, stat. Yeah. So I went to stat, edit. Now I'm just going to plot these 3 points. So the two original points were 2.5 and the y coordinate was 3.4. So that's the first order pair. Then the second one they gave was 1.8 and I'm going to plot negative 1.1. So now our claim is that the midpoint is this 215 and the 115. So for the gentlemen that are here, I was saying that we're gonna use this time as a review session for basic math and precalculus. If nobody has any specific questions, I'm just gonna kind of make my way through the study guides. So if you want me to do one, find it in the study guide, click on the Ask My Instructor, and I'll get an email and I can pull up the exact question. Oh, hi call? Okay. Like I'm saying hello, like hi, and call, like I'm gonna make a phone call. Hi call? Okay. So, but yeah, if you have a question, just do the Ask My Instructor. That way I can pull up the exact question. I see a request for a slope problem, so just find one in the study guide and we'll get it going. So I want to plot these, and let's go to, so the x's go from there and the y's. I'm going to do this window. So my window, I'll do, I'll go -1 for the x. And then the max, I'll go up to 4, I guess. And the x's can go by 0.5. And then the y's go down. I'll go down to -2 and up to 4. And then we'll go by 0.5 as well. I think this should be a good window to see these 3 points. See? So we have the two original points, and it looks like our third point is right in between the two. Okay, so we should be good. The portal is down. Okay, so if the portal is down, you should be able to go to Pearson My Lab and Mastering and log in that way. Just with the same login credentials, it should work. The high call, that's funny. I like that. The high call. Makes it sound epic. Okay, so this feels good. So I'm going to go actually and plug it in and check and see if it's correct into the. Actually, yeah, I guess I could. Okay, we said let's do parentheses. Can we do parentheses? Or do we have to type it down there? Oh, that's a pain. So I'm trying to type it into Pearson. Okay, there it is. 2.15 and 1.15. Then close parentheses. Let's see. 2.15. Okay, does anybody, did I make a mistake? Anybody see an error at all? Oh, it says type an integer or a simplified fraction. Oh, this actually is a different question altogether. Oh, let me back up. Are they changing the questions on me? Okay, this is good. I was just typing in the wrong spot. Okay. So then we said 2.15 and 1.15. All right, so that was good. Okay. So let's see. All right, so I'm going on to the next one. The next one says find the midpoint, so I'll skip that one since we just did a similar one. Find the midpoint, so I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, so here's one that says find the slope. Let me pull it up real quick. So this is question 3 from the Basic Math Study Guide. Okay. How's the studying coming, gentlemen? Have you been making progress? Okay. Mr. Chapman, welcome. Okay, so for as people come, I'll just I guess I'll keep making this announcement. I probably should have put it in the description, but that's okay. So as you come for credit, just leave a comment in the comment section saying, just introducing yourself, and so I can give you credit. I'll go back to the comments at the end of this and give people credit for attendance. So there was a request for one on slope. Okay, and again, this review session is for. Oh, I didn't even give him the title or anything. I just started recording. I guess it's okay. It's gonna have to be okay. I don't care. I just want to be interactive. So this is going to be a review session for Basic Math and Pre-Cal. So any students that come, whatever questions you have. If you have a question, just click on the Ask My Instructor from the study guide, and I'll get an email, and I can pull it up and incorporate it as you see. So this one is like the third or fourth question from the Basic Math. It comes from section 3.2, question 43 on the study guide. It says find the slope of the line and sketch the graph. Okay. So now if you look at this is given in the form y equals mx plus b. All right. Let's look at what we have. We have y equals 2x. All right. So then the question is, what's the b for this one? Notice there's no plus, there's a plus 0. So we can say that our b is 0 and our slope is 2. Okay. So then it asks us the graph. Like this. Just pulling up some graph paper. All right. So then it asks us the graph. All right. So we're graphing y equals 2x. Now there's a couple of ways you can choose some x values, find the corresponding y's. You can make a table of values. In this form, the easiest way to graph this is a line and using the slope-intercept form. So let the use the y-intercept and the slope. So let me kind of create a Cartesian plane. So this is a quick sketch. This is our positive y. This is our positive x. We're gonna go 1, 2. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay. I think this is a good window. So now if we're going to graph using slope-intercept form, all right, so after I do this one, I see I got a couple of requests for questions. So after I do this one, I'll pull up some of those questions. So this one says, let's see. So if we're doing the y-intercept is 0, okay? So we'll plot that. All right, so the y-intercept is 0, so we're here where y is equal to 0. Then it says the slope is 2, so that means we go up 2 and right 1. So to get to a second point, we use the slope, which is this. And I just if we can go up 2 and right 1, we can also go down 2 and left 1, just to kind of extend the graph, be a little more accurate here and here. So then, and we'll go up 1, 2, and right 1, so we're about there. So then if we connect this with a straight line, we get this. Any questions there on what I did or what's going on? Okay, I keep graphing incorrectly on some problems. Will we be solving for y or x here? Okay, so here, in this example, we already have that y equals 2x, so it's already solved for y. But yeah, since it's a line and we're trying to graph the line, we could solve for y. And then now we have it in the form y equals mx plus b. So then in that form, it's easy to graph. The b tells you to start at that point on the y-axis, and then the slope tells you how to get to the second point. So to graph a line, all we need are 2 points and then connect them with a straight line. So the first point is the y-intercept, and then we use the slope to get to the second point, and then we connect them with a straight line. Now I know that my math lab is a little funky as far as the graphing and things. You might just need to see me after class or something like that so I can walk you through it. I might do a demo in here later. Don't worry too much about that. If you know what you're doing, when you get on the exam, just do what you know to be correct and you'll be fine. Yeah, y over 1. Okay, so the question says, I see why you go up 2, but why over 1? Well, okay, so, and then how do you know whether to move left or right? So now, I think it's pretty clear, why we start at y equals 0, because the y-intercept here was 0, but then the slope is 2. So the number 2 is actually the same as, 2 is actually the same as 2 over 1. So 2 in terms of rise over run is going to be up 2 and then right 1. So now the question as far as whether to go up, down, left, or right, if it's positive, we're going to go up. So if we're at our first point and the number is positive, we're going to go up. If it's negative, we're going to go down. And then we always go to the right. Now, you could go down and left, but that's not necessary. Right now, all you need to know is either go up or down, then to the right, and that's it. And so like when we're looking at the slope, if it's positive, when you trace the graph left to right, it's going to go up. See, notice we have a positive slope, and when we trace it left to right, the line goes up. And then if the slope were negative, when we trace it left to right, it's going to go down. So ours is positive. That's why it goes up. So hopefully that answered that question. All right. So let's make sure that we answer the question being asked. So it says find the slope of the line and sketch the graph. So we have the slope here. So this is the slope. And sketch the graph, and here's the sketch of the graph. Okay. So now there were some requests. So let me see what I got in my inbox. Ooh, Tassili's Raw Reality. That sounds yummy. Tassili's a raw spot next to the school is really good. They have really good kale wraps. If you ever want some raw, so plug to Tassili's. Hopefully, I've been going there for a good little while. They're a good spot. All right, so let's pull up this question. Study guide. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Graph. Okay, so it's asking us to graph. This is a great question. So it's like fine. So I'm going to do this. I'll go like this. All right, then I'm going to go back here. And then like this. We need this. All right. And then we're going to come down. Add our photo. Everybody doing well today? Everybody's having a good weekend so far? Enjoying themselves? Enjoying this great, beautiful weather? Working hard, playing hard. I know I got out there yesterday. I didn't get on yesterday. I was busy. And I really should be doing other things today too, but I was like, I wanted to take some time to hang out with you guys. Because otherwise, I always have things I could be doing. I can get rid of that. Edit. Okay. So this one says, graph this inequality. Now this question is chock full of information. All right. Let's see what we got. So it says graph this. We have y plus 6x is strictly greater than 0. Now, so the first thing we do is something like this. So I'll just put a 1. Right. We want to graph instead of it being an inequality, we want to graph it as if it were y plus 6x is equal. So we just want to graph this. It's equal to 0. Just change the inequality to an equation and then graph the line. All right. So let me pull up my graph paper. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Space like that. That's gone. Change that down. All right, so we got graph paper. So if I subtract, okay. So I'm just gonna make a quick Cartesian plane. Okay, so I'll go like this. Nope. Then we'll go like this. X is, so we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Blah blah blah. This is the positive x. This is the positive y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2, -3. Okay. All right. So we're here, right? And so first we're going to graph the inequality as if it were an equation, right? So if we had y plus 6x equals 0, this is actually the same as if you subtract the 6x, then you get y equals a negative 6x. So let's just graph that, okay? So then, I guess I'll do blue. I'll do green just to be consistent. So now if we're graphing this, we have y equals a negative 6x. All right. Just be sure to get your rest. I see that people are studying throughout the night. I think this is a great time. The weekend is fine for that kind of stuff. But like at least a day or two before the exam, especially that night before the exam, do not do all-nighters unless you just have to. The more important thing in my book is get some rest. You want to be fresh and just try to hone in whatever it is you already know going into the exam. Just try to make sure you know that. Don't try to put too much going into the exam, because then if you wake up and you don't have it, you're not rested, nothing's going to work. You're going to lose everything. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be sure to be well rested going into an exam. You had your rest, you know, and usually what I do, I'll get into, especially if you can get into the classroom early, get in there early and just sit and keep studying, you know, or whatever you're comfortable with. Don't try to get new information. Just try to really lock in what you already know. And then when the exams come out, put everything away, and then you can just, and all you have to do is kind of remember things for a few seconds. Once they pass out the exams, you can write on the exam and take whatever notes from your memory, you know, that you want to write down. And that's the kind of stuff I used to do. And then, you know, to me, it was like a legal cheat sheet. You can, as long as you can remember for a few seconds and long enough for them to pass things out, you write stuff down that you want to remember right there, right off the bat. Then now, once you write it, you don't have to hold on to it anymore. You can let it go. So if we're graphing this, the y-intercept is 0, so we're at the origin, and then it says the slope is -6, so we go down 6 and right 1, and we're here. So then we connect that with a straight line. And I'll put a point here just so we can connect it. Something like that. Okay. So then we're there, but then we got to go back. So now, so that's just the graph of the green, right? So then, but if we look at our original, it's a strictly greater than inequality, which means that we cannot be on this line. So this line has to be dashed. So we're going to go back and make our line dashed. Just go like this. So it's not supposed to be a solid line. It's supposed to be dashed because we don't have the equal to bar. So ours has to be dashed. Okay. So now our line is dashed. So then the only thing that's left, we need to figure out which region we're going to shade. So are we shading above or are we shading below? Now, if we're looking at the original, if we solve for y from the original, so by subtracting the 6x, we would have y is greater than negative 6x. So now, since we're graphing a line and y is greater than the thing, then that's actually one technique that tells you to shade above your line. So my claim is that the region that we're going to shade is, let's do this, is actually this region. Now, that technique I just showed you, we hadn't really talked about as a group. I kind of wanted you to discover it on your own, which is fine. But what we talked about as a group, I'll tell you in just a second. So I'm shading above. So my claim is that this is what we should shade. Now, the technique that we talked about in class was, so normally we would pick the origin, but the origin we've already used. So we need to pick another point. So like we can choose something like 2, 2. So if x is 2 and y is 2, doesn't make the original true or false. Okay, so if x is 2 and y is 2, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 14 is indeed bigger than 0, strictly bigger than 0. So that means we would shade the region above our line. And then for contrast, if we choose something in the other region, it should make it false. For instance, if we chose x was negative 3 and y is 0, so if x is negative 3 and y is 0, then on the left we're going to have negative 18 is strictly bigger than 0. That's false. So that means everything below our line in this context, or everything in that region, should not be shaded. All right, so now that was the end of my explanation. So let's kind of look at some questions. So let's see. Okay, I kept getting some of the problems we'll be solving. Okay, I think. Okay, so 4. Okay. Okay, why did it become negative 6? Okay, so if we're solving for y and we have a plus 6x, then to cancel it on the left and move it to the right, we subtract 6x. So if we subtract 6x on the left, they cancel, and then on the right, we'll get a negative 6x. So we just subtracted 6x from both sides. A rate of change. So if you ever have a fraction, I might need you to look up. So I see that you say you can't find the exact problem, but you tried to work the rate of change with fractions and was confused on whether the numerator was the rise and the denominator was the run. I might need you to find that exact question and I can walk you through it. Otherwise, usually with the fractions, it always goes rise over run. So the rise is on top and the run is on bottom. Okay, and then so let me see if I can actually pull up this so that we can try to graph this properly together. So let's see. I'm just gonna graph it, but I don't think I can. I haven't done it so that you guys can see it. I have to kind of do some other stuff. But anyway, so what I'm going to do on the right, I'm going to choose this graphing, this line tool, and I know you can't see it. I'm going to plot my origin because I know that was 1 point. And then we said down 6 and right 1. So that means this is a second point. And then our line should be dashed, so I'll make it dashed. And then I'm going to go to the bucket tool, and we said shade above the line, so we should shade that region. I'm going to hit save. I think this is good. So I'm going to submit. Uh-oh. It's not. I'm not seeing where I can do that though. Oh, this is Ask My Instructor. Yeah. So yeah, you just have to try it. You have to try it and try it on your own. But this is the result I got. Now, if there's a mistake, please keep me honest. Don't let me walk away with mistakes. Okay. So hopefully that answered questions. I'll go on to the next one that was asked. Okay, so this one's from Mr. Brooks. Let's see what we got going on here. Graph the equation by plotting points. Okay, so we have y equals -4. I'll just use this one since it's already here. If we had, and I'll just do it in another color real quick. So if we had y equals -4, and if you wanted to plot points, what you're saying for y equals -4, what we're saying is that no matter what x value we choose, y is always going to be -4. So if we just made a quick table like x and y, we can choose -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. It doesn't matter. Any x you choose, the y is always going to be -4 in this context. Right? So if we were to plot that, when x is -2, y is -4. So if you plot these points, you'll get a horizontal line through y equals -4. See, no matter what x you choose on this line, y is always -4. Okay. So hopefully that's okay. All right. Let's see what else we got. Friday night, Georgia to Sealy's. Let's see. Looking for it. Okay, so I don't have any others, so I'm going to continue advancing with the study guide. So it said the slope. The slope here is 2, so I'm going to type a 2. Enter. All right, and then it says to graph the line. Okay, I'll just do a quick graph. So I click on my line tool. If it's 2x, we have the origin, and we have up to and over 1. Up to and over 1 is here, and I think that's it. So I just want to save and check the answer. All right, that's good. All right. Okay, so no questions, so I'll just keep going forward. Oh, this is a good one. This one says, okay, let me pull it up. So I might hang out for another hour. I would like to enjoy my Sunday. I might get back on later. It depends on how I feel. But I want to get out and enjoy this weather while I can. So I'll hang out for maybe an hour or two. I guess I can leave it here, but I'll just do the same thing I did before. Oh no, didn't mean to do that. All right. Over here. All right. So let's bring this in. Bam. Ooh. Edit. We want to just focus on this. We can use that. That doesn't matter. All right. Boom. I spoke too soon. Okay. All right, let's look at this. So this is the next one that came in basic math. It says decide whether the pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay, so is the pair parallel, perpendicular, or neither? I believe that's all, folks. Okay. So one of the students actually had a pretty interesting little joke about parallel, perpendicular, neither. He said, two friends were parallel. Do you know the tragedy of the story? And before I could even answer, one of the students was like, what did he say? He said, the tragedy is they'll never meet. So they're best friends, but they're parallel, so they'll never meet. Anyway, I thought that was really nice. All right, so look at this. So now, if the question is asking, are the lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? I don't know if you all remember, I said that, hey, this subject is all about like being subtle. Like they're actually one question, but they're not really asking. They're really asking something else. They're saying parallel, perpendicular, neither. The discussion is really centered around the topic of slope. So when you see parallel, perpendicular, neither, they're basically saying compare and contrast the slopes. Okay, so parallel, two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. Two lines are perpendicular if the product of their slope is -1. In other words, if you find the slope of the first line and multiply it by the slope of the second line, if that answer is -1, then that means the lines are perpendicular. Another way that we see perpendicular is that one slope is the negative reciprocal of the other. So we flip it and flip the sign, and then we get the other. If neither of those two cases occur, then the slopes are neither, right? So let's look at our example. Now we got these two lines, so this discussion is really all just saying, hey, compare and contrast the slope. So let's look at the first one. So then we have 4x plus 5y equals 7, right? So if we want to find the slope in this context, I would solve for y and do the y equals mx plus b, and then the slope would be right there. So if we're solving for y, I'll subtract the 4x, so we get 5y equals a -4x plus 7, divide by 5, and then y equals -4 by 5x plus 7 by 5. All right? So that means the slope of our first line, so our slope 1 is going to be, our first slope is -4 by 5. Okay? I'm going to shrink this down, move it up and over, out of the way. All right, let's clean it up a bit. Okay, so this first slope is -4 by 5. So now let's check the second one. So the second one, we have a -5x minus 3y equals 6, right? Let's do the same thing, solve for y. This time I'm going to, well, that's fine. We can move the x, so we'll get -3y equals 5x plus 6, and then divide by -3. Y is going to be -5 by 3 x minus 2. Okay. Now, provided we didn't make any mistakes, if our second slope is -5 by 3, notice it's not the same and it's not the negative reciprocal. So this would be an example of neither. So my claim is that the lines are neither parallel nor perpendicular. Now, if you get on the exam and only give me the answer of C, but you don't show this kind of supporting details, you're not going to get any credit. Because I'm not concerned with the answer. I'm more concerned with how did we get there, It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, just like in life. Anyway, okay. I don't see any other questions, so I'll keep going forward. So my claim is that the answer there is C. Let me check it. I'm going to plug it into Pearson. So I'm saying C. Check. Fantastic. All right, so moving on to question 5 on the. It says the upper deck at a baseball stadium has produced, among other complaints, displeasure with its steepness. Okay, let's pull this up. We got a picture. Yeah, we should probably use that. So what I think I will do, let me try to make this like that. All right. All right. So I'm going to go to all photos, and I want to add this one, edit here. We're going to do it twice. I'm going to go like this so I can blow this up. Done. And then we're going to go like this. We can make it bigger. All right, so there's that. And then I want to do the same thing. And I'm going to incorporate this. So this is an image that came with the question that can kind of give us a sense or an idea of what's going on. All right, let's look at this. So it says, the upper deck at a baseball stadium has produced, among other complaints, this displeasure with its steepness. So the clients are saying that it's too steep. It's 250 feet from home plate to the front of the upper deck. So we see the 250 here. And we'll do, I like purple. I'll do my funky little arrow. All right, so let's see. It said it's 250 feet from home plate to the front of the upper deck. So home plate is here, right? And from if you do the vertical line coming up, from there to the front of this was 250, okay? And then to the front of the upper deck, and 340 feet from home plate to the back of the upper deck. So from home plate to the back, that's 340. It says the top of the upper deck is 72 feet above the bottom. So the top is 72 feet above the bottom. What is the slope? Okay. So what I'm going to do is redraw this in a little simplified picture. Now, if you look at the there's a basic shape that's going on here. So it looks like we have something like this. Now, this isn't, well, yeah, this will work. So now, so if it says that this is 72 feet, right? Now we know, we're looking at our image. I guess I should have kept that. So now we see that from home plate to the front is 250, and then from home plate to the back is 340. So can we possibly find this side down here? So if the total is 340, and then less the 250, so then what's the difference? You just say the 340 minus the 250, and that should give us the missing length side. So that's 50 plus 40, should be 90 feet, if I had to guess. I'm not a guess, but anyway. So now, we know that the height of this stadium seating is 72 feet, and the run should be 90 feet, okay? So then the slope. So then it's asking for a slope, and the slope is nothing but the rise over the run. The rise is 72 feet. The run is 90 feet. So then we just simplify that. It's so simple. All right. Let's see. 9 goes into both of these. So what's that? 8 by 10. But then we can go further and divide both by 2. So we'll get 4 by 5. So what's the slope? The slope is 4 by 5. All right. Let me check that. It says type an integer or simplified fraction. When you get on the exam, please be sure to follow instructions. So like, be sure to answer the question being asked and be sure to follow the instructions. So this is 4 by 5. I want to check this. Oh, good. Okay, that's correct. All right. Let's see. I see people are kind of hanging out. Okay, since the numbers are fairly low, again, I'll gladly give extra credit. So you guys are here, you're being engaged. Let me see if there are any other. What time is it? I'm gonna keep going through, advancing through the study guide. Let me see if anybody has given any questions. No questions. So I'm gonna go back and just keep going through the study guide. All right. So next question. Graph shows the number of cell phone subscribers in millions in the state. Okay. All right. So let's just pull this up. I think this is a good one to go through. All right. So now let's look at this. This is 3, 2. We don't need that. We definitely need this. Come down. This one. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, we need to, let me see. So a question comes in, will we need to draw graphs during the exam to show our work? If it says to graph it, yeah, you're going to have to graph. So you definitely need to know how to graph. Let's look at this. So the graph shows the number of cell phone subscribers in millions in the state from 2005 to 2008. Okay. So the number of cell phone subscribers, so the years are on the bottom, and then the number of subscribers is in millions is on the left. So it says use the given ordered pairs to find the slope of the line. Okay, so they give us two ordered pairs. So this is pretty straightforward. We have 2005, 207.6, and then we have 2008, 270.9. So what I'm going to do, put these side by side and shrink them. Okay, so then we'll just go ahead and label like before. So we can either say x1, y1, x2, y2. So then it says find the slope. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now in this context, that's going to be 270.9 minus the 207.6. All right, let's do a little bit better there. So this is going to be the 270.9 minus the 207.6 divided by 2008 minus 2005. Okay, so then if we keep going, I'm just going to put this in the calculator. All right, let's turn it on. It's clear. All right, so we got 270.9 minus 207.6, and the top we get is 63.3. And then what is it, 3 years? So then I'm going to say divided by 2008 minus 2005. 21.1, that sounds good. Thanks. All right. All right, so it says use the slope, use the given order pair to find the slope. So my claim is that the slope is 21.1. So then, but part B says interpret the slope in the context of this problem. So look, slope is what? Rise over run, right? Now, what is the rise in this question? The rise or the Y's are the number of cell phone subscribers in millions, okay? So the Y's are the cell phone subscribers in million, the run are the years. So then that should be the number of cell phone subscribers for each year. So every year we should gain about 21.1 subscribers. Okay, so let me check that. That's just my thinking. I want to just check it in the original. So this one says the slope. Now our claim is that the slope is 21.1. So I'll do 21.1. There's my 1. Okay, enter. Well done. And then it's either A or B. It says the number of subscribers decreased, the number of subscribers increased in average. Okay, so I'm going to go with the increased version. And the increased an average, I'm going to say the 21.1. Wait. Each year. Yeah, 21.1 million. Yeah. So I'm going to say it increased 21.1 million each year. Cool. Fantastic. All right. Well, we need to draw graphs. Okay. All right. So if somebody's here that hasn't been, that's just joining, this is a study session for Basic Math and Precalculus. If you have questions, just go through the study guide, click on the Ask My Instructor, and I'll incorporate it into the presentation. Otherwise, if there aren't specific questions, I will just kind of jump around, and I'm going to try to get through both, but I can feel myself getting tired. I don't really know that it's going to happen, so I'll probably stop pretty soon, unless, people are asking questions. Okay, so this was good, so I'm going to move on to the next one. All right. Now this one says a cell phone plan. I think I need to do this one too. Let me pull it up. I don't like how wide that is. Can I zoom? I could zoom, that would help. I'm just trying to see if I can zoom. Mm-mm. Because I didn't want to do it like that, because then I want like the font to get bigger, but I'm not seeing how to do it. I might just type this one. All right, looks like I'll try one of these. Maybe I can copy and paste. That'll work too. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I want. Cool. I just didn't want to have to type. It wastes a lot of time. Okay. Then A through C. Yeah. All right. Take this like that. Bam. Back here. Like that. Okay. Now this comes from section 3, question 75. And then I need to include one other piece of information. All right. Thank you for your patience. Okay, Mr. Devers. Yeah, I see you all. Again, so anybody that came late, or later, leave a comment in the comment section, just introducing yourself, and I'll go through that later and give everybody credit. Okay. Let's see. So this comes from section 3.3, question 75. It says a cell phone plan includes 900 anytime minutes for $440 a month. That can't be right. 900 anytime minutes, 4,000. Wait a minute. Am I reading this right? No, there's definitely an error in there. I was about to say, it was like $4,000 for a cell phone. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, I was like, man, inflation is a beast. All right, I think this is better. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, let's look at it again. So it says a cell phone plan includes, is it 900? Okay. A cell phone plan includes 900 anytime minutes for $40 a month, plus a one-time activation fee of $39 a month, or $39. Let X represent the number of months and Y the cost in dollars. Answer parts A through C. So A says, write an equation in the form Y equals mx plus b for this situation. All right, let's look at A. So I think I might make, if there aren't any other specific, oh, we got another guest. Hello, Mr. Trimble. Got me shaking in fear. That's an interesting name. So what we're doing, this is really a review session for basic math and pre-cal. So I'm not sure which class you're in or anybody, but if you have questions, go through the study guide, click on Ask My Instructor, and I'll incorporate it into the presentation like is what you see. When I'm done, I'll post these notes in like the answered homework questions on Box. So if you have questions, click there, and also go to the comment section and just introduce yourself, and so I can give you whoever I see in the comment section, I'll give credit for attending today. All right. Otherwise, I'm trying to make my way through the study guides. I might stop basic math at this point and then try to do at least some pre-cal for a little bit, like a little bit of time. So I'll probably make this the last one. Unless people have questions, then I'll kind of answer the questions. So this one says a cell phone plan includes 900 anytime minutes for $40 a month, plus a one-time activation fee of $39. So X is the number of months and Y is the cost. It says write an equation of this form for this situation. So now it says $40 a month. Let me see. Includes it comes with 900 anytime minutes for $40 a month plus a one-time activation fee. So then the cost is Y. So we're going to say the cost, for instance, if it's the first month, you're going to pay the $40 per month. X is the number of months, so X is the number of months, plus the $39 activation fee. Okay. That's about the best I can do with this. That makes the most sense. So like month 1, we'll pay 39 plus the 40. And then month 2, we're just going to pay an additional 40, and then so on and so on. Now, it doesn't seem like they're doing like overtime. I mean, if you go over the limit or something, it just seems like the base pay. So write an equation. So my claim is that this would be our equation. And then B says find and interpret the ordered pair associated with the equation for X equals 7. So X is 7. Okay, so we'll just plug it in. So then Y is going to be 40 times 7 plus 39. So this is after 7 months. 7 times 4 is 280. So this is going to be 280. It's going to be 280 plus 39. 319, is that correct? Keep me honest. Dollars. So for 7 months, it'll cost them 319. Let me check this in my calculator. All right, so it's clear. So if I say 40 times 7 plus 39, 319. Okay. So find and interpret the ordered pair. So the ordered pair is going to be 7, 319. And what we're saying that this means is that after 7 months, they would have paid a base of $319. Yeah, sure, it's no problem. Yeah, just come and go as you need. Okay. So it says, over a 2-year contract, how much would this plan cost? Okay. So if it's been 2 years, we can use our formula. We have Y equals 40X plus 39, right? So if it's each year is how many months? 12 months. Okay, yeah. So if you have a question about a specific problem on the study guide, find it on the study guide, click on the Ask My Instructor, and send it to me. I mean, yeah, it'll come to me, and I'll incorporate it into the presentation. So, I mean, I kind of have, but not really. Just if you can find it, Ask My Instructor, and just let me know that you sent it, and I'll go look for it and I'll pull it up. Now it says over 2 years, and now if it's been 1 year, that's 12 months. So then 2 years means it would have been 24 months. So then the cost is going to be 40 times 24 months plus 39. So then I'll just do 40 times 24 plus 39, $1,000 for 2 years. So $999 for the 2 years. Okay. So I'm going to just plug this into Pearson and confirm that these numbers are good. So the equation we said is 40x plus 39. So 40x plus 39. Okay, so the claim is that was good. And then it says the order pair associated with X is, so it says the order pair using integers or decimals. So we're going to do parentheses as soon as I can find it. So, oh, there it is. The order pair was 7, 3, 19. Okay, that was correct. And then, which of the following is the correct interpretation? The cost of the plan for 7 months is $319. Yeah. So B in this case. And I just want to check. Fantastic. Okay. So let me check the request up. I got Mr. Trimble. Okay, let's pull it up. Equation is standard. Okay, this is a good one. Let's go through this. So I'm gonna go to Pearson. Oops. All right. So this came from Mr. Trimble. We're gonna incorporate this question. This one. Edit here. This. That. That. Done. We're gonna move it up. Okay. So this question came, it says 3-3 question 45. It says write an equation in standard form of the line passing through the points. So we want the equation of the line through the points. Okay, so now when we're doing equation of a line, there are three formulas that you want to just go ahead and write them in the vicinity automatically because we're talking about a line. So the first one is the slope formula, or we can use the slope formula. And that's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And then the second two the second one I would do is point slope, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then the third is y equals mx plus b. Okay. So whenever we're working lines, I would just have these three ready to go right there. Now, if you look at 1 and 2 are actually the same equation. If you started with the slope formula, you can do a manipulation and transform it into equation number 2, the point slope. So if you multiply both sides by the denominator, then you're going to have x2 minus x1 times m equals y2 minus y1. Drop your 2, now you have the point slope formula. So you really only have to know 2 formulas here. So I'm just going to shrink this down and move it over here. All right. So we want the equation of the line. So if we want the equation of the line through the points, I would use equation 2. But for that one, we need a point and a slope. Y1 minus y2. What do you mean y1 minus y2? Like, you saying it should be reversed, Mr. Devers? All right, why you respond to that? Let me keep going. But yeah, I think these formulas look good. Let's keep going. But if you write that order, that's going to be the order's not going to work every time. So if I want to use number 2 or the second equation, the point slope form, okay, no problem. So yeah, if we want to use equation 2, we need a point and a slope. Now, since we have 2 ordered pairs, we can just go ahead and label them. So we can say x1, y1, x2, y2, right? So we have a point, but we don't know the slope. So then that's why we use equation 1 to find the slope. So then the slope is going to be, again, one of my teachers was like, every time you use a formula, write it down. That whole thing of writing it every time ingrains it in your memory, and it helps you to remember it. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then let's just plug in our values. Now, we see that y2 is 2 by 3. Minus y1 is 2 by 7. Divided by x2, which is 8 by 3, minus x1, which is negative 2 by 7. Okay, I'm going to do one manipulation. 2 by 3 minus 2 by 7 over 8 by 3 plus 2 by 7. Now, just keep me honest. Hopefully, I got everything orchestrated or in the correct order. Now, the students actually had this question earlier in the week, and I worked with some students, and they said they were working with the department chair. And he said, get rid of the fractions, get rid of the fractions. I was like, I like that. So something like this, to get rid of the fractions, what we're going to do We want to multiply the top and the bottom of the main fraction by the LCD of all the fractions, okay? So if we look at our denominators, we have 7 and 3. What's the least common denominator or the least common multiple? So what we can do, since they're all constants, let's take the largest constant, which is 7. Now first we say, is 7 a multiple of 3? No. So then multiply by 2. Now we have 14. Is 14 a multiple of 7? Yes. Is 14 a multiple of 3? No. So now multiply by 3. Then we say, is 21 a multiple of 7? Yes. Is 21 a multiple of 3? Yes. So then our LCD is going to be 21. Now that's just one technique for finding LCD. You might want to do a YouTube search for how to find the LCD. And there are several techniques that work, and you want to just find something that vibes with you. All right. So our LCD is going to be 21. So I'm going to say the top times 21. So let me show you where this is coming from. So what we're doing, we're actually just multiplying by 1. If you multiply something by 1, it doesn't change it. It's the same. Anything times 1 is itself, right? But what we're gonna do is multiply by 1 in a form that will help us to achieve what it is that we want to do. So we're going to manipulate the 1. Instead of just writing a blatant 1, we're going to multiply by 1 in the form of 21 over 21. Because you see, something divided by itself is 1. So then now what we're going to do is distribute this in the top like this. So this is math is chock full of these little tips and tricks. And really you only pick them up as you kind of work questions, you get stuck, and then you discover them or you rediscover them. But nobody can really tell you them because it's not going to sink in. You have to be frustrated for some time. And then once the answer comes, you know it better than the back of your hand. But you have to go through that frustration early enough in advance. So now if we distribute this 21, okay, now the first one, 21 divided by 3, let me do this. I'll bring back my arrow. All right, so now if I distribute this 21 right here, right? If I distribute this, when I say 21 times this 2/3, I'm going to say 21 divided by this 3 is 7, and then 7 times 2 is going to be 14. So then my first number is going to be 14. Minus. Now let's look at the next one. If I'm distributing 21 times this 2 over 7, I'm going to say 21 divided by 7 is 3, and then 3 times 2 is going to be -6 in this case. So like that. Then divided by, let's work the next one. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 times 8, 56. And then we're going to say plus. 21 divided by 7 is 3, times 2 is 6. Okay? So then, what is that? 4 and 4 is 8. And that's 62. Is this right? Did I make a mistake somewhere? 64. Well, they're both divisible by 2, so we can go 4 by 31. Okay, so the claim is that the slope is 4 by 31. All right? So it says we want an equation in standard form. So we have a slope and we have a point. So now we can use point slope. All right? So then point slope goes y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Right? Now, with this, you want an equation. So if you're going to have an equation, that means you need to finish with a y and you need to finish with an x. So that's why we're plugging in for the point x1, y1, and we're leaving the x and y's in there so we can have an equation at the end. If we plugged in for x and y, then we won't be able to have an equation of a line. Okay. So then we said earlier that x1 was the -2 by 7 and the y1 was the +2 by 7. So we're going to plug that in. So y minus y1 is 2 by 7. The slope is 4 by 31. X minus, and x1 was -2 by 7. Okay. All right, we got several fractions. We should be able to do, I still feel like I made a mistake. I'm not liking the way that 31 is looking. Let me go back and look at my numbers real quick. y by 2, 2 by 3, minus 2 by 7 over 8 by 3 minus negative 2 by 7. So then it becomes positive. This looks good, right? So multiply by 21. 7 times 2 is 14. 3 times 2 is 6. That's good. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7, 4, 9, 56 plus 6. 62. 4 by 31. That's about it. I can't see it, so I'm thinking this is okay. We'll find out at the end. So now we're trying to write this in standard form. So we need the ax plus by equals c. Now we could, I'm going to multiply by the LCD between 31 and 7. What is it, 62? Let me pull up the calculator. Yeah, let me just pull it up. I think it's just 31 times 7. Let me see what that number is, if it's ridiculous or not. 31 times 7, 217. I'm going to leave it separated as 31 times 7. Okay, I'm going to multiply the left and the right by 31 times 7. So the left times 31 times 7. Instead of writing 217, I'm going to leave it in factor form. And I'm going to say the right by 31 times 7. This is a little different. All right, I'll be wrapping up soon. So now if I distribute, we said it's 217, so that'll be 217y minus 62 equals, the 31s are going to cancel. I'll have 28 times x plus 2 by 7. Okay, so let's keep going. So then we get 217y minus 62. And then if we distribute this 28, right? So then we'll get 28x plus, now 28 divided by 7 is 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. So I want to move the y to the right and the constants to the other side. So I'll get 28x minus 217y, subtract the 8, equals a negative 70. All right, so we can check this. So our claim is that this is the result. So say we got this result on the exam, and we think it's a bit suspect. So what we can do, we just use the original data points and make sure that they work. So we're gonna plug it into the original. We'll plug the original into this. All right, so let's see what we get. So I think I'm gonna make this my last one, unless there are any other questions. I'm getting tired now, and my stuff is shutting down. Okay, so let's see. So now, so if we say 28 times x, which is the negative 2 by 7, minus 217 times a positive 2 by 7, we should get negative 70. Okay, so that one checked out. Then we got to do the same thing with the other thing. So the second one is positive 8 by 3. Uh-oh. It's going to be positive 8 by 3. And then the y is 2 by 3. Okay, and we should get negative 70 again. Fantastic. Okay. So that was a little bit involved. But we checked it, and then I'll just go ahead and put it in Pearson. Oh, okay, so it's already done. Okay. So this one says, what number is this? This is 3:45. I don't know what time this is. That's too far. 4. That's interesting. Let's see. Okay, well, we just have to go with that. I'm not finding it. Okay, well, that was a solid hour and 15 minutes. I got a fantastic 4, or whoever. So just make sure that you introduce yourself in the comment section. If I'm feeling it, and if anybody wants to get on again later this evening, just let me know. Send me an email, and I might get back on. Otherwise, it was a pleasure, gentlemen. Have a good afternoon. Happy studying. You can still make use of the Ask My Instructor. I can do individual videos. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I think Monday and Tuesday we're still going through new lecture. Exams are Wednesday and Thursday. And Friday I try to make it worth your while for being there. And then Monday and Tuesday I think it's fall break, so we don't have class. All right, gentlemen, have a good afternoon. I will catch you on the flip side.